Good evening and salutations, my G friends. You know, I know soap operas retcon things all the time, and they probably used to sit there and do it even when I was watching in the beginning. Like when I used to sit there and just watch it to watch it, when I was in high school watching this stuff. But the issue that I'm having now with this whole retconning thing when it comes towards, Brooklyn and, Brooklyn and Dante having a child that Dante had no idea about is that now I'm looking at these characters in a totally different lens. Like you go all the way back to when Brooklyn first came in town to sit there and seduce Dante, right? What happens if she would have actually succeeded and she would have got pregnant? What would she have done? Just gave away that child too and just wouldn't have bothered to sit there and tell him about it? Like after she talks to Dante, and she goes to the Metro Court to see her mom and everything, and they're talking about Dante and just how messed up he's really reeling from this. And Olivia's like, yeah, and Lois like, yeah, it's not you talking to Olivia and yada yada yada, and I'm just like, I don't really understand because the thing is, when this truth comes out, Dante is not going to be the only person going to be upset. Olivia is going to be upset as well. Olivia and her are the best as of friends, right? And that means ever since that day that they gave up that child, without both of them knowing, you've been sitting there looking in your friend's eyes for years and just lying to their face. Can you imagine that? You imagine that you pretty much kind of grow with this person your entire life just for you to realize that they've been lying to your face pretty much every day, every single day that they talk to you. This is what I'm talking about when I'm looking at these characters through different lenses. And I even go back to that scene when she tried to seduce Dante, because I'm like, anyway, long story short, she's realizing that she can't tell Chase about the baby that they gave up because now it's at the end tell Dante, and Dante, he's already reeling from the Sam stuff. Imagine him have to sit there and deal with that she gave away a child that he never even got a chance to know and love and take care of. That would be too much for him. And it would be too much for him. But in all reality, it's still messed up with what she did. And, a couple of days ago, DC was in my chat and he was saying, well, he was there just giving her all sorts of excuses. She was young, she was scared. And see, maybe it's just the male gene in me. And I know it sounds pretty messed up, and I get that she was scared and stuff like that, but part of me is just like, so I guess his feelings don't count. Anyway, I know I'm just kind of just going on and on and on about it, but like, the point is that he missed out on being a father. And like, every day, when he finds out, he's going to sit there and think about that time that he didn't have with her or him. And right now, he's not there telling Lulu that he's still regretting not doing enough, not just saying that he loved her enough and everything like that. That he should have proposed to her sooner, He had this whole life that he was not there planning. That's when he finds out that he had a child that he didn't even know about. And he will find out. It will come out. I don't know if it's going to come out in a really cool, revealing way because, hell, he botched the whole Sasha thing. Well, Lulu does apologize for pretty much just being a brat and everything like that, and they kind of squash it. Like after days and days and days of them fighting, she finally is like, "Yeah, I'm sorry for the way I've been acting and everything." I was gonna segue into something else, and I can't remember what I was gonna segue to. Oh, Alexis is going through it. Because now she pretty much has to relive that in a different light. Because, imagine your loved one didn't die by whatever heart attack or illness or whatever, but because they were murdered. It's already hard enough that you're sitting there grieving someone, but it's worse when you find out it wasn't even their time. So now she's really going through it. And, Sonny losing not just one child, but two. Remember his unborn child, with Lily, I think that was her name, in Morgan. So he definitely knows what it's like to go through. So he's there for her. Um, Liz is not there calling Turning Woods, and I guess was talking to some woman, I guess daughter or granddaughter. Long story short, just another person that Cyrus visited and that she wound up dying of a heart attack. Now, granted, this woman was like 70 something years old, and granted, she didn't have anything else going on, but she was 70 something years old. So it's easy to sit there and look at that and be like, okay, maybe that was just age. And I guess there's something that they're trying to look for a pattern at this point, but it doesn't seem like it's a pattern. Maybe with some of the other people, with Sam and Dex, this was personal. Or at least with Dex, it was personal. Sam, I have no idea. Um, anyway, Laura comes over and Laura tells Lucky that Sitwell's in town. And, just be careful and don't go after him and everything like that. And she leaves. And then Liz is not there asking questions like, what was your experience like? What how was it being captive by Sitwell? And I'm just like, why would you ask them to pretty much relive that? Like, I'm like, seriously, how do you think it was getting captive by someone? Like, what? It's kind of just like, what kind of question is that? Are you asking? Um. Anyway, Laura also came to Sunny and Alexis and was not there talking about Sitwell and everything. And Alexis didn't know. She was just not there brokering the deal. She didn't know that this dude was kidnapped Lucky and almost try to kill Jason and stuff, which that's something else that Lucky did sit there and say. He's regretting his decision, or he is starting to regret his decision of not letting Jason in him when he had the chance. And it's kind of crazy, too, because if Sitwell was the person behind the fire, like Jordan and Laura is saying, then if Jason would have took him out, well, Michael wouldn't have got burned. Um, Trina calls Curtis to talk to Kai because Kai is just in a really bad and dark place, and his dick of a friend named Quinn is like nah, bro, you're not done, you got to do rehab, and Kai's just like, yo, listen, I can't do it, but you can sit there and lead the team into the next game. You got to sit there and step up. You can do it. And so Curtis comes in there because Curtis tells Trina like, listen. This may not snap him back into shape. I mean, he's practically grieving, in a sense, he's grieving a life, the future that is no longer available to him, that he probably thought of and dreamed of, with that injury. And it's a serious injury. I mean, it's a cracked vertebrae. You imagine how scary that is? Like, you'd be afraid of just falling when you really think about it. Anyway, Curtis comes in there, and even though he says he's not going to give him a pep talk, he winds up giving him a pep talk. But it does work, though. He's just like, hey, listen, you can't just give up. You have other options, and don't be afraid to ask for help. Meanwhile, Quinn the Dick is not there blaming Trina for, Kai's focus being split with artwork and stuff like that. And, at one point, Trina sits there and checks him like, yo, listen, I'm sorry, what happened to him is bad, but, like, pretty much like, don't come at me sideways, and explains to him, listen, this is what Kai wanted to do. Um, I mean, I get that football is important to him. I do, but like, no one sat there and said, "Well, you had to do." 1 second. Actually, I was going to sit there and say no one was going to say he had to sit there and split his focus, but well, he did. You know what I'm saying? Like the artwork, that was something that he was required to do. But this guy, he's just, just about football and football is life and it's his future and it's Kai's future. So he just gets a little pissy attitude with with trainer and everything like that. But again, I'm glad that trainer didn't just sit there and just take it at one point. Like, um, anyway, what else want to? Oh, okay. So let's talk about this nail salon scene because they still got the set, so we gotta. Oh no, not the nail salon scene. I guess the other scene or whatever this new juice bar is or whatever. We're actually pretty much just telling Emma, listen, if you're gonna do something crazy, just call me or whatever. Because the moment that Maxie walked up, Emma was like, "Oh God, is it my grandmother that's not there sending you to me?" And I don't know about Emma so far, but I'm gonna be honest. Like she is not doing it for me. And it's not the rebel attitude that I have an issue with. I'm totally fine with that because again, college does change people. But she's kind of obnoxious. She hasn't really done anything impressive so far. Um, she really hasn't. She just, got an attitude with Jocelyn for some ish that wound up happening when they were like 10 or something. Anyway, they're talking for a little bit. Sasha comes over and, Emma wants to stay, but Max is like, no, 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 no. Why don't you go somewhere else, find another table? Me and her got to talk. So she goes, find another table, and Gio's not there talking about his music or whatever he's going to sit there and play with his fundraiser or something. Meanwhile, Maxie's not there asking Sasha about a rumor that Jason is her father of her child. Sasha's been defensive for like a hot minute. She's like, well, why can't everyone just leave me alone? I'm on their own business, and yada, yada, yada. And, it's none of their business and all the other stuff. And, my whole thing is like, Maxie's like, hey, listen, if it's true, it ain't the worst. He's also not the best author, if we're going to be honest. Um, but if anything, just say it's not true. She's more upset with other people prying into her business. And I get that to some extent because she is going overtime and she's like, she's pretty much like, I'm not going to sit there and reveal who the father of this baby is. But you're going to have to sit there and talk to Jason about that too. And I hope that she does not sit there and get a pissy attitude with him. Um, anyway, while that's going on, Emma's nosy ass decides to walk over and overhears what they're talking about. Her dumb ass goes back to Gio. And granted, this is just all because of Cody's dumbass. Anyway, she goes back to Gio and she's like, oh, well, Jason is Sasha's father, whatever. I mean, Jason is the father of Sasha's baby, and I gotta sit there and talk to my mom. I gotta tell this person. And Gio's like, hey, listen, I don't think she wants anyone to know. She wanted them to know. She would have told them. So pretty much what they're saying, you need to kind of just keep this to yourself since you went over there and started eavesdropping on the conversation you weren't invited to. And you know what her dumbass actually does? She's like, well, who am I going to sit down and tell first? And just like, damn, this chick is obnoxious. So I was like, yo, this chick is obnoxious. Anyway, it's not to think of my name. Isaiah, I guess, is supposed to sit there and meet Jordan, and he makes a joke or whatever, and she doesn't laugh, and he's kind of like, what's going on? And Jordan pretty much is like, Sitwell's back in town. He's like, okay. And she's wondering why he's not freaking out, and he's like, listen, I don't think he's going to come after me. I'm not the only doctor that can sit there and help him, whatever, and if he does, listen, I'll handle it. But yeah, I mean, there's really no point of Snip there being all scared or angry or anything like that. Like, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And Jordan does sit there and say, hey, listen, if anything goes down, I got your back. And while he goes to make a phone call, he gets a phone call. Sitwell comes in. Sitwell comes in, and George decides to play good cop, but she doesn't just play good cop. Let's be honest. She plays sexy good cop, right? So she's not there asking all these questions like, what are you doing in Port Charles and stuff. And so it was like, this is really nice. Having a good, nice and warm welcome and stuff. Just kind of getting information out of him or whatever. But it's one of those things where it's like, I have a feeling it's going to backfire. And of course, when Isaiah comes back, he sees her just being all chummy chummy and smiling and everything like that at him. And I'm pretty sure she probably talked. I'm pretty sure he talks to her and it's like, yo, listen, this is not the type of person you want to sit there and try to, trick or play games with. Because, like, we saw what happened with Sonny's apartment. Anyway, I feel like that's about it for the most part. I can't think of anything else. This episode was okay. Wasn't terrible. Wasn't super great. Middle of the road. We're watching all four. But I didn't watch B&B. I think Days was better personally. I've been really shitting on Days. Also, just another little heads up, and I'll probably sit there and say this in the short. I just found out today. I sent my boy Kyrese the thing from Soap Dirt or whatever. We're getting a new Jack Brennan. And I'm gonna be honest, here's the thing. I don't like it. I don't like I don't know what the reason is, but it does kind of suck though, because I really did like the actor. Um, like Kyrie, I'm willing to sit there and get this new guy a chance. It's just one of those things where it's like, I'm sitting there scrolling on Instagram or whatever, thirst traps and everything. I'm like, what the But like I said, we'll just have to wait and see how this whole thing is. I'll look into the reason why he's not on the show. And if I remember, I'll sit there and say it in the review, or maybe in a separate video, or maybe in a live stream. Who knows? Which, by the way, I'm not actually live streaming tonight, but I will be back tomorrow. I'm trying to make Mondays my rest day as far as doing um, live streams, just because with Tuesdays I usually have off Wednesdays, and I can just I can just kind of hang out and stay up a little bit later on. Anyway, I feel like that's about it. I might have missed one or two things. Let me know in the comment section what your thoughts are, and I'll sit there and see you in the next video.